Hey everyone, I just want to make a quick video overviewing the upcoming Hololive Ichiban Kuji Volume 5, as this time they'll be covering the Hololive English Myth and Promise. Ichiban Kuji is just like a real-life gacha lottery game that you could play in many different stores such as Lawson's, convenience stores, bookstores, hobby shops, as well as their online shop which you could access here. I'm not sure if it's available for Kaigai or abroad, foreigners, but there's the online option here. I've already done a couple of videos talking about the previous volumes, so like the 1 to 4. So far they've covered all the Hololive JP talents, and now they're moving on to the Hololive English department. You can see here, starting from September 7th of 2024, these gacha will start to appear in the shops that I mentioned above. And each pull will cost 790 yen, which is the tax included price. And I believe all the prices that they have this time is the exact same as the one in volume 4. Scrolling down a little bit more, we could see that here are all the prices. And same as last time, we have 4 different prizes. You got the posters, you got the little figurine, a little acrylic panel thing, and a little acrylic stand here. And all the art you see here are the key visuals for this time, and they're done by different artists. I always really enjoy the different themes that the artists try to convey with the talents. So you can see like Crony is like time themed, Fauna is like more like nature, forest. I guess like she's on water but in the sea. But yeah, basically just to match like what the talents are. So let's start off with the posters, and they advertise it as them using like the 7-color print. I'm not too sure what it is, but instead of the usual 4 colors, they use 7, so I guess it's like more detailed in terms of colors. But as you scroll down more, you can see like the artist's name here, written right under the talent name. And the poster itself is the one here, inside the frame, and it's A3 size, but there's also a frame that is B3 size. So the frame or the border itself is paper, but it's not like cardboard thick, nor is it like printing paper quality. It's like those like hard paper. So yeah, they come with the poster, and it always seems to like fit really nicely with the poster itself. So as you scroll down more, you could just see like the close-up of each of the key visuals in the art. And yeah, there's like all 10 of the talents for the 2 generations in Hololive English. Here's an example of the poster that I have from the previous volumes, and as you can see, it's fairly big. If you're traveling, I would say like it won't fit on your carry-on size luggage, but it should be no problem if you have like a bigger check-in luggage. Like based on the average carry-on size luggage, I think it's a little bit bigger than the carry-on size luggage, so I don't think it would fit in there. Up next here we have the Choconoco figures, and Choconoco is just like the name of the figure line. From my observation with the past JP talents for these figurines, these figures actually have probably the most value, I would say, and it's probably the best price you could pull. You'll usually make your money back if you happen to pull this, so I would say like an exception of that would be like maybe a talent that's not very popular. Of course, here in Japan, I'm not sure how popular the English talents are, but I do know that Gura is probably the most popular one. I just want to mention that because it might be cheaper here in Japan if you buy it secondhand, but maybe in the States they're way pricier because there's just more like English fans. Also note that you cannot choose like the design for each of the figurine, so when you win this prize they come in a box and you can't see through it, so it's just random. Here I got my male one, and I just want to show what it looks like. I think these make really nice display, and I just leave mine in front of my computer screen. Initially I wanted to collect them for all my oshis, but they're just a little bit too pricey for me. One example would be like even after a year since the release, the Sakamata one is still priced around 3k yen last time I checked, which is kinda crazy considering the pull is 790 yen. But of course, like on the opposite end, there are like less popular talents like Roboko, Akiroze Mill, they're probably like 500, 600. But even if they're on the less popular end, you could still kind of make your money back. I would say the most common pricing for these in secondhand shops here in Japan is probably around like 1.5k yen to 2.5k yen. Of course, you got like the more expensive one that goes up to like 3-4k maybe. The Suisei one is probably the most expensive as always. Up next, we got these acrylic mini artboard things, and as the name suggests, it's a mini acrylic art panel. And it's just like the key visuals for each of the characters. They're fairly small, and it's about like a little bit smaller than your palm. For this one, you can choose the design if you happen to pull it, and they don't really have much value compared to the other goods like the little figurine and the poster. I will show you what it looks like, but the one I have is for mail and I left it at my workplace, so I don't have it with me. And finally, we have the mini acrylic stands here. These are just like the basic acrylic stands, but it also comes with, like, as you can see here, if I could zoom in a little bit, they got their little name logo thing beside with the base. So for this one, you can also choose what design you want when you pull it. And they also don't have that much value compared to the little figurine and the poster. Although I do think they have more value than the acrylic mini board. Here you can see that I have the Nene one, and I bought it from a second-hand shop just for a little bit under the gacha price. But now that I own it, I personally don't think I'll get another one for my Oshi. I thought it would be like a really nice acrylic stand that I could add to my collection, but after having it, and it just feels really awkward when I display it. And I think it's because, like, so you can see here you got the base and you got the acrylic character, and you also got the logo here, or like the name logo here. And I think what makes it awkward is that when you put it down, it kind of wastes a lot of space because of the base. So you can't put anything here, you can't put anything behind the name logo here. So it kind of just takes up a lot of unnecessary space from your display shelf or whatever. I just put my little Nandroid Nene acrylic stand on the free space to the right of the Nene here. And yeah, just try to eat up the unnecessary space that the base takes up. There's one final price here, and it's limited to one each for the gacha lot in the store. And it's called the last price, which is like a small illustration book for all the key visuals that they use for this volume. The last prize is not something that you can win, but rather it's like a prize that is awarded to the person who purchased the last pull from the gacha lot. And keep in mind, like, some stores, they carry a couple of gacha lots, so yeah, there may be multiple ones in the shop, and that's the reason for that. So for example, if there are 100 pull in this lot, and let's say I pull the first 95, I won't get the last prize because there are still 5 prizes left in the lot. However, if like the person after me buys all 5, and yeah, he will get the prize instead. Heck, if we go even like more extreme, if the person after me only buys like 4 and there's one more pull remaining, and another person comes in and buys the last pull, the last person will get the prize. I think you kind of get the idea. So the reason for this prize is basically to help sell out the whole lot in case like there's a situation where the bigger prizes are already gone. They'll usually have like a little display showing how many prizes of each is left. From my memory, for each of the lot, there are 2 talent posters for each of the talents. There's going to be 2 Kiara posters, there's going to be like 2 Ina posters, and so on. The other prizes usually have maybe like 20-30 of them, but I'm not too sure of the exact number, but that's like the rough idea. Quickly going over how you can pull these. Usually in the stores that I mentioned above, they'll usually either have like a cardboard display of the gacha and that shows like the price and all that, like a promotional cardboard piece. And in one of the corners, you could find like a little slip with like 790 yen written on it. And you just take one of these and head to the clerk or the register and then tell them how many pulls that you want to do. And it should be smooth sailing from there. Alternatively, if they don't have it in the store, maybe you have to ask the staff themselves. And in that case, you would need to tell the clerk how many you want to do, and it should be the same. Just tell them like Hololive Ichiban Kuji or like Hololive Gacha or something, and they would probably know what you're talking about. One advice I would give for the gacha, like always, is that I wouldn't expect you to aim for a specific item, but more so if you want to enjoy like the randomness of gacha, then maybe do this. If you have like limited funds and you just want to aim for something, they should be available in secondhand shops in Japan after like the initial start date, which is September 7th of 2024. If you want to know like where you could get like Hololive goods from secondhand shops, I made a video talking about it, going over the places in Akihabara, so check that out if you want more details. Thank you for watching. I said previously for my next video will be on the Hololive Tokyo Dome Escape game, but I want to get this Hololive gacha video out before the release date to help out those Kaigai Nikis who may be interested in pulling them on their trip in Japan. The escape game video is still a work in progress, but I'll try to get it out as soon as possible. I've been writing the script for the video, but it's just a little bit more complicated than I thought, and it's taking a little bit more time than I wanted to. But if you enjoyed the video or learned something from it and would like to see similar content, I make Hololive related videos revolving around goods unboxing, event vlogs, and overviews. And I'd greatly appreciate your support if you could press the subscribe button. Thank you again for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.